All right, so let's dive into crypto security.
Specifically seed
Yeah,
phrases.
those mysterious phrases that like hold the keys to your digital kingdom.
You know the mantra, not your keys, not your crypto.
Right.
Well,
Uh-huh.
your seed phrase is the key.
Exactly. It's like the bedrock
Yeah.
of crypto security. And I think,
Uh-huh.
it's worth emphasizing, right? Like
Yeah.
lose your seed phrase and you've lost access to your funds.
It's gone.
Like there's no password reset,
Nope.
no customer support line to call.
Oh,
Poof, it's gone.
it's the ultimate self-custody.
Okay, that sounds a bit intimidating, but
Yeah,
there's got to be a good reason why this whole system exists.
absolutely. It's designed to give you complete control over your assets.
Okay.
It's the bridge between the complex world of like cryptographic keys and something that you can actually like manage and remember.
So walk me through this. How does this actually work?
Okay, so think of it this way. Your seed phrase is like the master password
Okay.
that generates all your individual crypto accounts. It's based on a concept called deterministic wallets,
Mm-hmm.
where one phrase acts as the root for like an entire tree of keys.
So from this one phrase, my entire crypto world unfolds.
Yeah.
That seems almost like too simple.
Uh-huh.
Is it really that secure?
Well, the security lies in the sheer number of possible combinations.
Okay.
Most seed phrases are 12 or 24 words long,
Right.
and they're drawn from a specific list of 2048 words defined by a standard called BIP 39.
BIP 39.
Yeah.
Okay, I've heard that term thrown around, but honestly, it still sounds like alphabet soup to me.
Yeah.
Can you break it down a little bit more?
Yeah, so BIP 39 is what makes seed phrases human readable.
Okay.
So instead of dealing with long strings of random characters, you get a list of words that are easier to remember and write down.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here's the clever part. The first four letters of each word in the BIP 39 list are unique.
So even if I'm a little shaky on my spelling, as long as I get those first four letters right, I'm good.
Exactly.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's designed for like human error.
Okay, but how are these words actually generated? Is it just like a random word jumble?
Not quite.
Okay.
The process starts with generating random data called entropy.
Hmm.
This entropy is converted into binary code,
Okay.
then divided into groups, and each group maps to a specific word from the BIP 39 word list.
Okay, so random data binary code words. I'm
Mhm.
following so far.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we ensure that there are no mistakes in this whole
Mhm.
process? Like, what's to stop someone from accidentally writing down the wrong word and losing everything?
That's where the checksum comes in.
Okay.
The last word in your seed phrase is a special word that acts as a verifier.
Ah,
It's generated using a specific algorithm to ensure that all the previous words are correct and in the right order.
so the checksum's like a built-in error detector?
Yeah, like a little detective.
Okay, that's reassuring.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And the whole process uses something called hashing,
Mm-hmm.
which is like a one-way function. So you can go
Yeah.
from the phrase to the seed,
Uh-huh.
but you can't reverse it
Mm.
to figure out the phrase from the seed.
Gotcha. So it's like a one-way street.
Yeah, it's all designed with security in mind.
Hashing checksums.
Yeah.
This is getting pretty technical.
We're getting into the weeds a little bit.
But I'm starting to see the level of thought and engineering that goes into creating these seemingly simple seed phrases.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
Yeah, and we've only just scratched the surface, right?
Yeah.
The real challenge, and where I think most people probably stumble,
Yeah,
is in how they store and manage their seed phrases.
absolutely. That's where the human element comes in.
Right, because even with all this fancy cryptography, if I leave my seed phrase lying around on a sticky note,
Yeah.
I'm basically asking to get hacked.
Yeah, you're making it way too easy.
Right.
The human element is often the weakest link.
Yeah.
Even the most robust system is vulnerable if you don't handle your seed phrase with extreme care.
For sure. So let's dive into that because I think
Yeah.
this is where it gets really interesting and important.
Absolutely. Let's talk about how not to store your seed phrase.
Okay, give me the rundown.
Things like typing it into a website,
Yeah, big no-no.
storing it in a cloud document,
Mm,
or emailing it to yourself are absolute no-nos.
okay, those are definitely rookie mistakes.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm guessing the golden rule here is offline storage.
Offline storage is key.
Right.
You want to create a physical gap between your seed phrase and the digital world.
Okay.
So the most basic method is to write it down on a piece of paper
Okay.
or use a special seed phrase metal plate
Right.
and store it somewhere secure.
Okay, so pen and paper got it.
Yeah.
But what about those stories you hear about people losing their seed phrases in fires or floods?
Yeah.
Is paper really the best we can do?
Well, for some it might be, but there are more robust options.
Okay.
Hardware wallets are a popular choice.
Yeah, I've heard of those.
These are small devices that generate and store your seed phrase offline,
Yeah.
adding an extra layer of security.
Hardware wallets, right? They look like little USB drives.
Yeah, exactly.
But how do those actually keep my seed phrase safe? Like, what's stopping someone from just plugging it into their computer and stealing everything?
Hardware wallets have specialized security features
Okay.
that prevent unauthorized access.
Okay.
Even if someone physically stole your device, they wouldn't be able to extract your seed phrase without knowing your PIN.
So it's like a mini vault for my crypto.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But what if I'm worried about losing the hardware wallet itself? It seems like having all my eggs in one basket, so to speak.
That's a valid concern,
Yeah.
which is why many people choose to implement additional strategies like the split and hide method.
Split and hide.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So imagine dividing your seed phrase into multiple parts and storing each part in a different location.
Okay.
This way, even if one part is compromised, the entire phrase isn't at risk.
Okay. So spread the risk.
Exactly.
Diversify my hiding spots.
Yeah,
I'm liking this strategy.
it's a good one.
But how do I split it up effectively? Like, just cut the words in half.
You could, but there are more strategic approaches.
Okay.
Instead of dividing the words evenly,
Mm-hmm.
consider creating unequal parts.
Okay.
Maybe 4 words in one location,
Okay.
3 in another, and 5 in a third.
Gotcha. Mix it up a bit.
Yeah,
Makes it harder to guess the complete phrase if someone only finds a portion of it.
exactly.
Okay, this is starting to feel like a real-life treasure hunt. But
It kind of is.
where should I actually stash these precious pieces of paper?
Well, this is where your creativity comes in.
Okay.
Consider using a combination of locations
Uh-huh.
with varying levels of security.
Okay.
Maybe a fireproof safe at home for one part,
Okay.
a safety deposit box at the bank for another,
Mm-hmm.
and a third location only you know about.
Right. All right. So, like, spread the risk, diversify the hiding spots.
Oh,
I like it.
uh-huh.
But what about those super secret hiding places people talk about, like hollowed out books or fake electrical outlets?
This can be fun. But remember, practicality is key.
Right.
You want to be able to access your seed phrase when needed, but not make it so obvious that anyone could find it,
Right.
and avoid common hiding places.
Okay.
Like under the mattress or in the back of a drawer. Those are the first places a thief would look.
Okay. Good point. No need to turn my house into a scene from a spy movie.
Exactly.
But even with all these precautions, isn't there still a chance that someone could stumble upon my hidden treasure?
There's always some risk.
Right.
But remember, you're layering security measures
Mm-hmm.
to make it as difficult as possible for an attacker.
Okay.
And there's one more crucial element we haven't discussed yet, mnemonic techniques.
Mnemonic techniques,
Yeah.
like memory tricks.
Yeah.
What do those have to do with seed phrase security?
They can be a valuable backup method,
Okay.
especially if you're worried about forgetting where you hid your seed phrase parts.
Okay.
Mnemonic techniques involve creating a story,
Uh-huh.
a song, or a poem. Using the words in your phrase. The more vivid and memorable the association, the easier it will be to recall.
Okay, so it's about turning a random list of words into something more meaningful and easier to remember.
Exactly.
But isn't it risky to rely solely on memory? What if I have a sudden brain freeze?
Relying solely on memory is generally not recommended.
Okay.
But mnemonic techniques can be a helpful secondary backup alongside a more secure offline storage solution.
Yeah.
Think of it like having a safety net for your safety net.
That makes sense. So don't ditch the pen and paper or the hardware wallet.
No, definitely not.
But having like a clever story or song
Yeah,
to help jog my memory can be a useful addition to my security toolkit.
absolutely.
Okay.
And remember, never ever share your seed phrase with anyone,
Okay.
not even your best friend, family member, or a seemingly trustworthy online service.
This is where it gets serious.
Yeah.
Entering your seed phrase online is like handing the keys to a thief.
It's like giving them the master key.
It's the #1 way people lose their crypto.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got offline storage, split and hide mnemonic techniques. Are there any other tricks up our sleeve?
One final piece of advice, stay informed.
Okay.
The crypto security landscape is constantly evolving.
Mm,
New threats and vulnerabilities emerge all the time.
right.
Do your research, follow reputable sources, and keep up to date on best practices.
So it's an ongoing learning process.
Yeah, for sure.
Knowledge is power,
Yeah,
especially in the world of crypto.
Absolutely. And remember, the best security measures are the ones that you understand, implement consistently, and feel comfortable using.
Okay.
It's all about finding the right balance for your individual needs and risk tolerance.
Well, I have to say this has been an eye-opening conversation.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
Seed phrases may seem simple on the surface,
Huh.
but there's a whole world of complexity and strategy involved in keeping them safe.
Yeah, it's a deep rabbit hole.
Okay, so you piqued my curiosity with this whole multi-signature wallet thing.
Yeah.
It sounds like we're taking seed phrase security to a whole new level.
Yeah, it's a step up for sure.
So break it down for me. What is a multi-sig wallet?
Think of it as a team approach to protecting your crypto.
Okay,
So instead of relying on a single key,
right.
a multi-sig wallet requires multiple keys to authorize any transaction.
So it's like having a group of guardians, each with a piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. Each participant in the multi-sig wallet has their own unique key.
Okay.
And you can set rules for how many keys are needed to sign off on any transaction.
Okay, so let's say I set up a multi-sig wallet with 2 other people.
Uh-huh.
Would we each need to approve like every single transaction?
You could set it up that way, requiring all 3 keys for every action.
Okay.
But you can also define different thresholds, like requiring 2 out of 3 keys for certain transactions.
So it's flexible.
Yeah.
We could decide that smaller everyday transactions only need 2 approvals,
Exactly.
while like bigger moves require all 3 of us to sign
Yeah,
off.
exactly. You have a lot of flexibility there.
That's pretty cool. But what if one of us loses our key, or worse, has their key compromised?
That's where the redundancy of multi-sig comes in.
Okay.
Even if one key is lost or stolen,
Mm-hmm.
the funds are still protected because the other keys are needed to authorize any transactions.
So it's like having a safety net built right into the system.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about that redundancy.
I can't help but think, what if one of the key holders goes rogue? Like, decides to run off with the funds?
That's a valid concern, but multi-sig wallets can be structured to mitigate that risk.
Okay. How so?
You can choose a trusted third party to hold one of the keys,
Mm-hmm.
acting as a neutral arbiter in case of disputes.
That's like having a judge in our little crypto court.
Yeah, exactly. Someone to oversee things and make sure everything's fair.
Okay, so it's all about carefully choosing your multi-sig partners
Uh-huh.
and establishing clear rules and safeguards from the get-go.
Absolutely. Communication and trust are essential in a multi-sig setup.
Right. It's like forming a crypto alliance, strength in numbers and all that.
Right. Yeah, it's a partnership. You need to be on the same page and have a shared understanding of the responsibilities involved.
But are all multi-sig wallets created equal?
There are variations in how they're implemented,
Okay.
but the core principle remains the same, distributing control among multiple keys to enhance security.
Gotcha.
You have providers like Gnosis Safe and BitGo, each offering different features and levels of customization.
So it's like choosing the right type of vault for our crypto treasure.
Yeah, exactly. Find the one that fits your needs.
Depending on our specific needs, this all sounds incredibly secure.
It's a very powerful tool when used correctly.
But are there any downsides or things to be cautious about?
Multisig does add a layer of complexity.
Okay.
Setting up and managing these wallets requires a bit more technical know-how compared to a single key wallet,
Mm-hmm.
and coordinating with multiple parties can sometimes be a challenge.
It's like having a more intricate security system.
Yeah,
It's more effective, but it also requires more attention and maintenance.
exactly. You got to be diligent.
So who are multi-sig wallets really best suited for?
They're ideal for organizations, businesses, or groups of individuals who need to manage shared funds securely.
Okay.
They're also a great option for individuals who want an extra layer of protection for their crypto assets, especially if they hold significant amounts.
All right, well, it's been quite the journey exploring the world of seed phrases and multi-sig wallets.
We covered a lot of ground.
We went from the basics of how these phrases work to some pretty advanced security strategies.
Yeah, it's been a deep dive, for sure.
Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Just remember, in the world of crypto, knowledge is power,
Mm-hmm.
and security is paramount.
Right.
Take the time to understand these concepts, choose storage methods that align with your risk tolerance, and don't hesitate to explore solutions like multisig for that added layer of protection.
It's all about taking control of your crypto destiny.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure diving deep into this topic with you.
Likewise, it's been fun.
For our listeners, remember to stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay secure.